The Manhattan apartment building that went all in on all electric. Our Electrifying World is a series about how electrification is creating a more sustainable energy transition. It is sponsored by Rewiring America. This article was published as a collaboration between Reasons to be Cheerful, which reports on solutions to the world's most pressing problems, and Skylight, which tells stories about the New Yorkers leading the clean energy transition in their own homes. From the outside, 420 Beekman Hill in Midtown East looks like your standard Manhattan co-op, a 110-unit tower of white brick built in the 1960s, topping out about 13 stories. But it's familiar facade masks, an innovative upgrade that's brought the building to the cutting edge of energy-efficient technology. As one of the first co-ops in Manhattan to fully electrify its heating and cooling systems with heat pumps, it serves as a model for cities looking to make older housing stock more sustainable. Prior to electrification, the building system ran on gas-powered steam, one of the least efficient methods of heating and cooling, explains Carl Thompson, Beekman Hills resident manager. With its new retrofit, the building has met its carbon emissions reduction target 25 years ahead of the city's carbon neutrality goal, established under local law 9 and LL 9. The landmark law, passed in 2018, requires buildings of more than 20,000 square feet to reduce their carbon emissions by 40% compared to 2006 levels by the year 2013 and 80% by 2050. Randy Jerner, a resident and board member of 420 Beekman Hill, had a vision for a heating and cooling system that isn't powered by fossil fuels. Credit Marlowe Starling. Beekman Hill has become a symbol of what's possible under LL 97, and an example of how state and city grants can make large-scale energy upgrades a reality. But subsidies are just one part of the story. The ambitious project might never have been realized if not for a savvy architect resident, a forward-thinking co-op board, and good timing. When Beekman Hill, officially 420 E. 51st was originally built in 1962, it was part of a broad network of buildings heated by steam, a cheap byproduct of local power company, Con Edison's fossil fuel-based electricity generation. But as the city grew, and Con Ed became more centralized, the utilities network of pipes needed even more fossil fuels to generate and distribute their steam more widely. This maze of pipes loses heat along the way, making it far less efficient and far more expensive for individual buildings. As it happens, buildings are the top contributor of greenhouse gas emissions in New York City, even above transportation. 420 Beekman Hill's new heat pumps live on a raised platform, leaving the rest of the roof usable by members of the co-op. Credit Marlowe Starling. Beekman Hill's old steam-based equipment included a large steam absorption system to generate cooling, plus a heat transfer mechanism to make domestic hot water. By 2022, the system was on its last leg and the co-op board was deciding what to do next. At first, the board considered a natural gas-based boiler and AC system. But Randy Jerner, a resident and board member who also happens to work as an architect, had another idea. We were at an interesting cusp where there was new equipment coming online for heat pump systems similar to the ones I've been using in my new buildings, Jerner says. We were thinking, is there a way to adapt this to a 1960s building? That was our first challenge. Jerner also knew they would soon face fines if they didn't hit the city's emissions reduction requirements. So why not electrify the clunky system now? Among the co-op board, the proposal met virtually zero dissent. Jerner and his wife Joan had already led several other upgrades to the building since they moved in nearly 10 years ago, from renovating the laundry room to redesigning the lobby area. For long-term residents who had experienced less transparency from previous iterations of the boards, Jerner's leadership was well earned. I had full confidence that it would go well, says Sarah Cohen, a 6-year-old resident who has lived at Beekman Hill for the past 20 years. He treats the whole building like his home. Jerner is tall, but not imposing. With a soft smile, prominent dimples, and cheery eyes, he easily instills a sense of trustworthiness. And residents had a bigger reason to put their confidence in him. His decades as an architect at the New York-based firm Jerner Chronic Castle Architects, which has extensive experience in multifamily high-rise buildings in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens, many of which incorporate climate-friendly upgrades. Jerner says,
weighed down by negative news.
Our Smart Bright weekly newsletter is the uplift you've been looking for. It was a major reason why residents were so supportive of the proposal, despite the physical construction and significant capital investment. Among the most challenging parts of the project was financing it, a process that took almost 8 months. Overall, the project had a price tag of $3.8 million. While the Beekman Hill board wanted to use the Green Bank to help finance the project, the terms of their mortgage on the building restricted them to loans from their mortgage holder bank, which came with a higher interest rate. We were surprised to learn that, Jerner says. It was complicated and frustrating, quite frankly. Journalist says NYC Accelerator, a program of the Office of Climate and Environmental Justice that offers free assistance for energy efficiency upgrades, made them aware of grants for which they were eligible and was a huge help in navigating the application process. In the end, the co-op secured one of these over 7 from the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. They said $1.1 million from Con Edison to help pay for the project. We were the first ones knocking on the door for these incentive programs, and I think it was the right time and a right place for us, Journal says. Cranes installing the new heat pumps on the roof of 420 Beekman Hill. Photo courtesy of Randy Journal. After assessing the cost of the project once the